AITA for telling my grandmother stop trying to make me to be her dead daughter? I-18F was named after my aunt who died in a car accident at 15. Almost 20 years ago. I was told when I was born. My grandma saw my hair, red, and begged my parents to name me after my aunt. They agreed. From a young age, I was aware she favored me. It also caused my other cousins to resent me. I didn't like her favoritism towards me and just wanted to be treated normal. She would often say, "You have red hair like your aunt, or your aunt used to like art." I'm not into art, and would encourage me to take it up. I refused and it would upset her. "Your auntie liked her hair in this style." I complained to my parents and they said that I just bring her comfort. Whatever. My 18th was 2 weeks ago and me and my friends planned to have a weekend road trip. My grandma disapproved and said my aunt would have done a party at home, and I finally lost it and said that's because I'm not her. Stop trying to make me be your dead daughter. I'm sick of it. My grandma started crying and left the room. I immediately felt bad. I got yelled at by family for making my grandma cry, and my dad was the only one who looked troubled and stuck up for me and told everyone to leave. My mother was upset with me and, like everyone else, demanded I apologize to my grandma, but I refused. My dad told me not to worry about it and just go enjoy my road trip. It should be settled down by the time I get back. Except it hasn't. Everyone's still angry and my grandma hasn't spoken to me either. NTA. Do you like your name? You are 18. If you don't like it, it may be time to get a name change. She favors you. It has already damaged your relationships with cousins due to her favoritism. She really thinks you are a replacement daughter. Especially since your whole life she has tried to get you to be exactly like her daughter. NTA. You are not your grandmother's support animal or comfort blanket. You are you. Sounds like the family has gone the path of least resistance for years. And maybe sometimes that has been something you've been okay with. But you do not need to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Your parents and all that enabled your grandmother to postpone her healing in this way are the Oz. Forge a path. Your path. And in a roundabout way. Whatever your grandmother's recollections are, you will probably honor your aunt more, as I'm guessing like most people she would have done the same. NTA. Could use a grandma. I'm sorry for blowing up at you the way I did. But this is a conversation that has been a long time coming. I don't feel like you love me. You love some other person that I remind you of. The only affection I can remember is about how much you love someone I have never met. It's like a 1,000-yard stare instead of someone actually looking at you. I am my own person. My dad was the only one who looked troubled and stuck up for me and told everyone to leave. Your dad just realized how they screwed up. Children shouldn't be born with jobs and they saddled you with a huge one. NTA. NTA. As well-meaning as it was of your parents to name you for a deceased sibling, it was a mistake. Your grandmother is trying to make you live up to an impossible standard, that of a child that who never got to realize their potential. You are never the off for wanting to live your own life in the way that you want to. And after years of frustration of being compared to your deceased aunt, you finally lost it. Your dad, at least, has your back. And the rest of the family needs to realize that you have been putting up with this for 18 years. NTA. What your grandma does is not even unhealthy for her, but also was very unfair to you. Instead of your enabling her, your family should encourage her to do therapy again instead of letting her use you as a substitute for her dead daughter. I'm glad your dad is on your side. While I understand that you didn't mean to hurt your grandmother, you shouldn't suffer just so she can feel better. NTA. Good on your dad for having your back, but it should have been done ages ago. It's tough dealing with constant comparisons. NTA. NTA. You are literally OVRR the age at which your aunt died. There is no, she did this or that, at this point. It is all parent fantasies and speculations. Except she is not your parent. You need to sit down with your mom and dad, but it seems he is already on your page, and expand to her that she needs to help you be yourself, not someone else's fantasy. You need her to have your back in this. NTA. Your grandma needs help. NTA. It's crazy that the adults around you are enabling this. You are neither an emotional support animal or a clone of your aunt. NTA. NTA. Your dad sounds like the best person in your family, by the way. It seems that everyone has allowed your grandmother to behave the way she has all your life. Possibly for the best of reasons. The lady, after all, was grieving a dead teenage daughter. Without thinking for 1 second about the inevitable consequences. You are the one that is owed an apology. No one else. NTA. For feeling manipulated into being someone you aren't, and for standing up for your individuality. But A for the delivery. This is why I hate naming a child after another relative. Too many older relatives transfer personality traits on a young child. Of course you are NTA here. Grandma should have been in grief counseling decades ago. She clearly hasn't processed, accepted and moved on from the death of her daughter, and instead used you as a replacement, so she could keep avoiding her grief. You know who is Ta? Everyone who isn't your dad. The reason why they are upset about what you said to your grandmother is because now they have to deal with an emotionally shattered, bereaved grandma instead of just letting you be her emotional support child. They've let this go on for as long as it has because it's easier on them. None of these people have your best interest at heart and only care about getting grandma to stop crying. Which is the goddamn problem. She's never dealt with this. She's been placated and pacified this entire time, so she's never had to. It's past time this happens. Grandma needs to cry. It's normal. Your family needs to let her feel her damn feelings, or she's never crawling out of this hole. Take your grandmother not speaking to you as a win, both for your mental health and her grief process. There's really no way for you to be around her right now. She won't start healing if your very presence is a crutch to keep her from doing that, and she won't learn to let you be your own person if she doesn't start grieving properly. Honestly, you're 18. It might be time for a name change. You deserve to be your own person, not a replacement person for an aunt that died. Start setting boundaries. Mainly that no one can ever compare you to your late aunt ever again. I'm so sorry this is happening. It's not unhealthy and unacceptable. NTA. Unfortunately, this is a case of extreme grief that blew up. You are your own person who has their own likes and things you enjoy. And you aren't fitting onto the pedestal that grandma placed you on when she saw your hair. Frankly, grandma may never get over it if she doesn't get help. And you can't make her start talking to you. As an adult of 18, I'd plow through this. Treat grandma like you did before this all blew up. Don't respond when she makes comments about what your aunt liked. I'd talk to the sibling of said aunt and see about getting grandma some much-needed therapy. You're NTA. But feel for your grandma. Losing a child is an impossible thing to wrap your head around. But it's been 20 years. The fact that she is still grieving this hard is worrisome. It sounds like your dad is on your side. So he would probably be the best to talk to first. Your grandmother needs grief counseling. She needs to be able to let go and allow her daughter to rip and enjoy and get to know the granddaughters she has. You don't owe her an apology. It really doesn't matter. The reason behind it is that your grandmother has repeatedly crossed a kind of creepy line. Repeatedly. However, again, Anyone should be able to understand that the grief a parent has because of burying a child is almost impossible to comprehend. Unless you want to go and see, you should say something. By no means do you really have to apologize. You may have been mean, but sometimes people need to hear the mean in order to stop. That being said, you could say something along the lines of, "Grandma, I am very sorry I hurt your feelings. I did not want to make you cry, but I honestly cannot handle this anymore. I have been very aware mine entire life how you have not only favored me, but you have pushed hard to turn me into a clone of your daughter. That's made me uncomfortable my entire life. It also breaks my heart. I feel like you are trying to use me to fill a hole in your heart. I'm sorry she is no longer here. I'm sorry I never got to meet her. But I am not her. I cannot be her. I am my IN person. And I am trying very hard to be me and not her. It breaks my heart because it feels like you don't want to know me or get to know me for who I am. You have gotten upset so many times because I haven't done what she would do, like what she liked, and been good at what she was good at. You have gotten upset at me for not walking in her exact footsteps. That's not fair to me, or her. I love you. I wish my existence could take that pain away from you. But it can't because I am not her and will never be her. Would she really want you to try and make me her? Or would she want you to get to know the grandchild you have? Please, get to know me. Love me because I'm me. And not because I remind you of her. It really hurts to simultaneously be loved and non-existent to someone that I love. Please, I want you to get to know who I am. I think you would be just as proud. And then give her a hug. Those puts the ball in her court. She can either make the effort to get to know who for you or not. It may take a little while for her to actually move on. But you should be able to see the effort to get pretty immediately. I will say again that it really sounds like she is long overdue for grief counseling. If your parents agree, they don't have to be a united front is easier. That counseling would be beneficial. Say something about you wanting her to go. Maybe even go with her a couple times. You're NTA. But I can't really say your grandmother is one either. She went through something that breaks people. So it's understandable that she struggles. She needs firm support to move forward. You also need to talk to your mom. At least you need to tell her that you're hurt that she isn't supporting you. Again, you are you, not your dead aunt. And you need her help to make that clear in the least painful way to your grandmother. You may be 18 now, but you still need both your parents. And you need them both to help you step out of the shadow of a ghost and be seen for the living person you are. This is just a sad situation all around. And I'm sorry for the loss and how that's impacted you. I hope you're able to find a way to work through this in a healthy manner and to help your grandmother do the same. NTA your entire family, including your parents. Little late for dad to step in now. Allowed her to turn you into a touchstone for her dead daughter. She made your cousins resent you. She treated you as a second chance with her daughter rather than the person you are, and everyone allowed it. She never processed her grief and your family failed both you and her. NTA, and even the delivery was deserved. Your aunt is dead. You are not her or her replacement, and someone needed to say it out loud. NTA. Well done. Hanging on to a dead woman for decades isn't healthy. Your parents really shouldn't have let you be named after the dead daughter. But maybe they can speak to her for you. Your father seems to be in your corner. Perhaps you can speak to them seriously. Is she his mother?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.